All right, so first thing in order to bring the experience to life is we're going to set expectations properly. So I'm going to explain to my client here the benefit of you doing circumference girth measurements so she fully understands the purpose as well as exactly what I'm going to do operationally. So to explain this properly, what we're going to do is take circumference measurements of 7 different parts of your body. We'll start from the top, make our way down. We're going to go to the neck, the bicep, the chest, the waist, the hip, the thigh, and the calf. In order to do, or the reason why we do this is to gauge progress in the future of your measurements. Regardless if your client either wants to gain mass and increase their muscle size or decrease body fat, the benefit here is that at least you can measure some form of success. In order to make this happen, what I'll explain to her as well is that I'm going to need your assistance in certain sensitive areas of the body. So just listen for when I might need your help in order for me to properly assess her as accurately as possible. So the first place that we will assess is the neck. With the neck, I'm going to find the beginning of my tape measure. I'm going to place this right in the front of the Adam's apple. So I'm going to place this right in the front of the Adam's apple. I'm going to ask her to hold it. So I'm going to hold it right in the front. And then I'm going to walk around her 360 degrees. I'm going to maybe lift up her hair, or she may naturally lift up her hair. And then from there, making sure that the tape measure is taut, but yet not restricting. In the same token, taut and not loose in order for you to get an accurate measurement. Once you feel like you have that accurate measurement, I'm going to ask you to let go, go ahead and let go, and then you can write down the measurement that you get from her. Next place I'm going to do is the bicep. So with the bicep, we're going to go halfway between the shoulder and the elbow. And I'm going to either look for the midway point or the widest portion of the bicep. So I'm going to eyeball it here between the elbow and the shoulder. But the widest part is going to be here. I'm going to take my tape measure, nice and taut again, and record the number. From there, we're going to go the chest. So the chest should be right across the nipple line. In order to make this happen, what I'm going to ask my client to do is place her right hand on my shoulder. This provides an opening and an easy way for me to eyeball the across the nipple line. So from here, I'm going to go right under the armpit. I'm going to place my tape measure on the side of her body, about the mid-axillary region. And I'm going to have her hold the tape measure. Going to hold the tape measure. Now, once she has a good hold of it, I'm going to have her spin 360 degrees. Go ahead and spin around. Lift up your arm. So some of your clients might lift up their arm naturally. And from there, when it's nice and taut, I'm going to record the number and ask her to let go. Go to let go. The next part is going to be the waist. With the waist, a couple ways you can measure the waist. And this is what you want to be able to record on your body composition worksheet. With the waist, you could eyeball the narrowest portion of the waist. If it's challenging for you to eyeball the narrowest portion of your client's waist, 2 things you could possibly do. Number 1 is have her feel for the lowest rib on the side, or if they're unable to feel for the lowest rib on the side, is use their navel. So in this case here, what I typically like to do is have them find the lowest part of the rib. So let me know when you feel like you found it. And then from there, I'm going to have her remove her finger, but hold on to the tape measure. Have her spin 360 degrees. Go ahead and spin around. Make sure it's nice and taut here. And grab the measurement. Go ahead and let go. Perfect. All right, the next portion is going to be the waist. The hips. So with the hips here, from the lateral view, you are going to eyeball the widest portion of the hips. So that being said, from the lateral view, I'm going to take the widest portion, have her hold. Going to hold the tape measure to the side. In addition to that, you'll notice that her feet are next to each other, side by side. You want to make sure that they understand that cue. You don't want the feet to be too wide apart. But once they're side by side, I'm going to, from there, ask her to spin. Go and spin 360 degrees. And once she's facing, feet back together, and take the recording of the hips. Go ahead and let go. Last spot is going to, 2 more spots. Next spot is going to be the thigh. So I'm going to ask her to spread her feet nice and wide, a little bit wider than that. And in the book, in your text, it talks about going about 10 inches up from the patella, from the kneecap. Now, especially with shorter clients, going 10 inches up might be pretty close to a sensitive area in which you or your client may or may not feel comfortable in assessing. So what I typically like to do is take the halfway point between the hip and the patella, and actually go about halfway up from there, whether it be 10 inches or not. And then I'll notate that on my body composition worksheet. So if I were to eyeball approximately halfway between the patella and the hip, I'm going to go about right here. So probably not about 10 inches up, but close. And from there, I'm just going to hold this. I'm going to reach under. Make sure it's nice and taut, and then grab the measurement. Final spot is going to be the calf. With the calf on the right-hand side here from the lateral view, I'm going to look for the widest part of the calf. Take my measurement, bring it around, under and around, and grab the measurement there. So from there, take all your measurements. You want to do this twice in order to gain the most accurate measurements. Average the two especially if your measurements have a wide margin, and utilize this. Keep it in your notes. Reassess them in the future. Gauge progress in the future as well.